Hey guys, Crypto Mike here with the mic check 1212. Is this thing on? Please hit the thumbs ups, the subscribe, and the notification bell if you enjoy my live streams and my new videos. I love you guys, by the way. I love you guys. So check it out. I've got this thread I'm going to go over. Okay, this is going to be a little bit different than the usual videos I do about crypto, but you know, in some way, shape, or form, crypto is going to be tied into this. You can always tie crypto into just about anything, especially conspiracy. I love it. So Jay Holocene, one of the founding members of SPQR, he retweeted a very good thread on the cube of Saturn. Let's see if I could find it. Well, I retweeted. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. Imagine if we all took part in a mass global satanic ritual yesterday. So definitely go follow Jay. He invited me to be on his podcast, so I might be doing that. I don't know. We'll see. His podcast he has it's called the Holocene Podcast. It's pretty new, decently new. Check out our first official vid just a few weeks ago. So let's go check out this thread, guys. All right, so a conspiracy thread, the Saturn time cube. And I'm going to show you all the pictures that go along with it too. That's Saturn with the hexagonal cube on top. Now this is going to probably take 30 minutes. This is a good thread. We can actually just do it. Hold on a sec. A conspiracy thread. Let's see where I can... Sorry guys, just give me one sec. There we go. Okay, all over the world across different cultures and religions, and throughout different films, literature, and other media, there is a consistent theme present that I am somewhat obsessed with. Now, this is by Nick Hinton. The theme I'm referring to here is the cube, the black cube of Saturn. Okay, and then he generalizes it also to a cube, global occult worship. There's a cube in Australia, Denmark, Manhattan, Santa Ana, and there's plenty more. He's going to show you. The cube is part of a Jewish, Muslim, and Masonic tradition. It can be seen in places like the UN Meditation Room, Mecca, the 9/11 Memorial, and art installations everywhere. They got the little cube on their foreheads there. There's a cube, Mecca, and that looks like the 9/11 Memorial, where the two Twin Towers used to be. So, it's been a central plot device in films like Cube, Escape Room, Transformers, The Avengers, and many more. In these movies, the cube is portrayed as a hyperdimensional object, or even a prison, which has the power to bend space and time. I don't think I've seen that one. That's Loki or someone. I believe the cube represents physical reality, and that makes sense to me. I will get to this in a bit. To Earth, then, let us assign the cubic form. For Earth is the most immovable of the four and the most plastic of all bodies, Plato. And I'd agree that the tetrahedron is our 3D existence, that the cube is our 3D existence. Otherwise, it would be two-dimensional. But this is the 3D realm, and that's where we're at. We're at right here. Plato and the ancient Gnostics believed this world was a counterfeit, created by an ignorant and flawed god now known as the Demiurge. They believed that the Demiurge trapped our spirits in this false reality, and it was set up It was up to us to free ourselves from it using gnosis, or secret knowledge. That makes sense, actually. If we didn't succeed in doing so, we would be forced to reincarnate and start again from scratch. Ancient Buddhists and Hindus believed something along the same lines, but instead they called the material world Maya, or illusion, and the cycle of reincarnation samsara. Some really good videos on YouTube about this. Go type in samsara or Maya illusion, and you'll find some really good videos on this stuff, guys. And there's the infinity loop right in the middle. There is now a newer theory out there that echoes these same sentiments very closely: simulation theory. Scientists and philosophers alike are claiming we might be living in a giant computer or virtual reality. Now, you guys, I completely 100% believe in this theory, and I've experienced experiences to where it makes so much sense. I've had very deep conversations with people where the light bulb clicked, and it makes a lot of sense. So definitely go check out simulation theory on YouTube as well. Only it's not just a computer, guys. It's just an extremely advanced. Now every little molecule, the smallest molecule that you can find, the God molecule or whatever, are little bits of information, just like ones and zeros. Everything is made up of information. We are living in a simulation, be it, I don't know who the entities are that created it. I don't know if we are part of it, if we agreed to be inside this simulation, if we're using this to learn, to get back to a place, to get to a place to where we have knowledge that we didn't have before, wisdom we didn't have before, intuition we never had before. You just never know. To me, that's kind of what this is, a living journey, all right, of never-ending learning and wisdom, okay? Now, let's keep going. Movies like The Matrix, The 13th Floor, Existence illustrate this quite well, this idea. Although it has been around for some time, the theory seems to be gaining a lot more traction lately and has become somewhat of a meme. Now, if you haven't seen The Matrix, I'm sure most of you have. That's one of the staples. You need to go watch that. Okay, that's one of the things that makes the simulation theory make sense. Now, also too, if you haven't used a VR headset, you need to put on a really good VR headset. Ask a friend who has one. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Just find one. Spend an hour in it exploring what you can do with it. Ask your friend who owns it to show you what it's made of, what it can really do. And that'll help convince you that we are definitely in a virtual reality world, a simulation. Okay? Life was written. It might have been by God. This is God's simulation for us. Okay? You can call it anything you want, really. There's a lot of different words to describe it. Although there's really no words that describe it because it's so super advanced. This is a supercomputer to the extreme. And you can't describe it. We cannot fathom how technologically advanced this is, to the point where it's technology and biology intertwined, okay? That's what this is, guys. Okay, and that's what supercomputers are. They use biology. Okay, they have to have a certain temperature. They use living biology to use to function. The theory seems to be gaining more, and I've also been watching since HBO Max came out, and I already had HBO Go. I've been watching Rick and Morty because I kind of like the show because it goes into all this kind of stuff. It's a little immature. It's like half immature, but then they sprinkle in a lot of tidbits of information, and there's also some hidden clues in there to what the future is going to hold. This is a great avenue for the powers that be to get that predictive programming out to us without us even knowing. And there's a lot of stoners, people who watch this show and just they think it's hilarious, and that's it. They take it at that value and nothing more. But for you deep divers, I know there's a lot of us who really we think very strongly, and we think a lot, and we want more. We crave to know the truth, to know what's coming. We just don't stop thinking, okay? We need stimulation. Shows like this, they really look like kind of immature and stupid on the surface, but there's a lot to them, okay? Predictive programming is very, very, very real, all right? Interstellar, that other one by Christopher Nolan, and then there's Tenet coming out. I can't wait to see Tenet. That's going to have a ton of stuff in it, trust me. The one with Leo DiCaprio by Christopher Nolan, I forgot what it's called. I keep forgetting what it's called. It's really Inception. Inception is a great one. Interstellar, you got Contagion, that predicted the whole pandemic right before it happened. They do this. This is what they do. They put it, this is part of their religion, part of their rules. They put it out there in plain sight for us to see, and then they roll out with it in reality. This is what's happening. The Simpsons cashless society episode, that's really going to happen very soon, okay? Like I said before, I believe the cube represents the simulation, and I believe this simulation or false reality is taking place in a giant quantum computer. There you go. Ironically, D-Wave's quantum computers are shaped like giant black cubes. These machines are claimed to be capable of reaching into parallel universes to pull out information and find solutions to problems faster than regular computers. Currently, only a few have access to this technology, namely those at Google, CERN, and NASA. There's more. There's more than just that. There's IBM and there's Microsoft, but yeah, Google is one of at the forefront. And then there's also, there's Elon Musk. Quantum computation will be the first technology that allows useful tasks to be performed in collaboration between parallel universes. Professor David Deutsch, The Fabric of Reality. CERN is home to the world's largest particle collider and also birthplace of the internet. Many conspiracy theories claim CERN is trying to open a portal to another dimension. However, this isn't too far-fetched to believe, as scientists who work there have even said this. That's the Large Hadron Collider. Extra dimensions, gravitons, and tiny black holes. Out of this door might come something, or we might send something through it, said Sergio Bertolucci, Director for Research and Scientific Computing at CERN. In front of the CERN facility is a statue of Shiva the Destroyer, dancing her dance of destruction inside a stargate. I don't think this symbolism needs any further explanation. Shiva, however, has connections to Jehovah, the God of the Old Testament, as well as Saturn. Peculiar choice. I believe these three deities are one and the same, that they are different names for the Gnostic demiurge. The cube not only represents our false reality, but is an alter ego to this god of limitation, the 3D realm. Here I should probably note that Geordie Rose, the founder of D-Wave, compared his quantum computers to an alien god. I should probably note that the black cube in the UN meditation room is supposed to be an altar to the God of all. But why a cube? Well, in 1981, during the Voyager mission, NASA discovered a massive hexagonal storm on the North Pole of Saturn. If you draw some lines on the inside of a hexagon, it becomes a two-dimensional view of a three-dimensional cube. And there's been rumblings about chain link too, with the cube. In times of antiquity, Saturn was known as Kronos, the god of time. The story goes, Kronos was told a prophecy that one day one of his children would usurp him as a king. After hearing this, he decided the only rational thing to do was eat all of his children. Oy. The myth illustrates the cycle of death and rebirth, creation and destruction. For this reason, Saturn and its rings are associated with the Ouroboros, the serpent biting its own tail. Interesting. Kronos, also the god of harvest, carried a scythe. This is where the Grim Reaper comes from. So we've seen this before. Where have we seen this before? We've seen this a few times over the last couple years. Saturn's relation to the serpent makes me think of Satan. Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun. It has six-sided shape on its north pole, and the sixth day of the week is Saturn Day. Saturn Day, the Sabbath. 666. Perhaps Kronos' baby-eating habits inspired satanic child sacrifice. Now, something else I've noticed a lot lately, guys, is that we have seen the number 6 a lot lately in repetition. Okay, Bill Gates's Microsoft patent for energy harvesting cryptocurrency producing whatever. It's a 06 patent number 060606. So being that the 0 is not a digit, you take all the zeros out and it's just straight 666. Also, we saw a 666 in the bill that was the Congress that went to Congress as the CARES Act. I believe it's something to do with that. We've just seen 666. I've been seeing them all over the place, guys. So, also another one. No one else is saying, no one's acknowledging, but it's true. The 6 feet social distancing rule. Well, that's a 666 right there that we practice every single day. That's 6 feet, and if you split a foot in half, it's 6 inches. 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 feet. 666. Right there. It's just all packed in. 6 foot social distancing, 666. Right there. There's a lot of 666 going on, okay? And it goes deeper than just Satan and God. God and Satan, Lucifer and God. It's much deeper, and there's a lot to it, okay? So it's not black and white. It's not like this evil, and then God is good, and then all you have to do is just believe this is evil. That's division. We need to try to understand these things and be open-minded so that we can fully be enlightened. The serpent also looks similar to the sine wave. Funny how the sine button on a calculator says sine or sin. The Bible says we die because we are born into sin. But could it really be because we are born into sine, the cycle of time? We are told money rules the world. We are also told time is money. If you turn the sine wave on its side, it looks oddly similar to something we are all familiar with. Dollar sign. Now, another funny thing is that the new dollar sign is going to be the stellar sign. It's a Saturn symbol. Okay? Here, I should also note that a low-frequency sine tone creates a hexagon and a medium. This has been confirmed by the study of cymatics. What is inside Saturn creating this frequency? Interesting, huh? Cymatics. Cimascope hexagon created with a low-frequency sine tone. Note the slight concavity in the hexagon sides and compare with cimascope hexagon. Sound energy stabilizes in a region of quiescence in a form of a stationary hexagon as a function of the frequency of the eruptive event and the diameter of the ice particle palisade. Low-frequency sound travels outward from the epicenter of the eruptive event and reflects off ice particle palisade. Ice particles are pushed up by convection currents, thus creating a circular palisade. Saturn is also emitting what NASA calls Eerie radio emissions. You can hear what they sound like on YouTube. It's creepy. And I've heard it before. It is really creepy. You would not want to hear it. You just would not want to be trapped in outer space and hear that. That would be the creepiest feeling in the world. Not being able to go back to the safety of your home and getting closer and closer, drifting towards that sound. It's a really creepy sound. But back to the cube. Like I said earlier, it's a hyperdimensional object. I think it's meant to represent a tesseract, or a four-dimensional cube, the fourth dimension being time. This is also what they call the cube in the Avengers movies. Now I'm going to start speeding up a little more because I only have 8 minutes left, and I want to make sure I get through this. Another good example of a movie with the tesseract would be Interstellar. I can't possibly name all the movies that hint at these ideas because, like I said before, there are just so many. But if you do a little bit of research, you will find them everywhere. That was such a good movie. Go watch Interstellar again if you haven't seen it. And go watch Inception. They're both great, and they have a lot of hints, too, to what the future holds, I promise. I can't wait to see Tenet, Christopher Nolan's new movie that's coming out in theaters pretty soon. But how did the ancients know Saturn had a hexagon on top of it? How could they possibly make all these associations without telescopes and satellites? Some theorists believe in the very distant past, the planets were arranged much differently. This would have been back in the Golden Age, when shit was good and Saturn wasn't pissed off from hearing that prophecy yet. Supposedly, this is when Atlantis thrived and Saturn hung stationary in the sky directly overhead. So possibly, you guys, the 666s we're seeing a lot could be connected to stellar. Maybe that's a sign, because Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun. Saturn Day is the sixth day, apparently the day of Sabbath. A lot of things have been manipulated over the last few thousand years. And we us people have been manipulated, and you owe it to yourself to dig a little deeper and realize that the system that we live in is really just a program that we can break out of. According to some theorists, the biblical Tower of Babel story is actually an allegory for one of the celestial configurations experienced in the past. The Tower of Babel was supposedly a tower that reached into heaven. The people wanted to go to war with God and become God. I believe a rotating hexagon in the sky would have been seen as some sort of portal into the heavenly realms. Perhaps we, the sons of Kronos, at one point somehow attempted to make it into that portal and usurp the throne. Perhaps we are trying to do this again. Scientists at CERN say they are searching for the God particle and have even called the machine the Tower of Babel. You can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. Is this the only way out of the cube? Personally, I don't think so. I believe the way out can be found within, through enlightenment. However, these people are trying to become God, and either they will or they are going to piss him off again. Maybe this is how the matrix resets. But let's get to the point of all this. Like I said earlier, the people at CERN also created the internet, which unironically uses www in every web address. I say this is ironic because www in Hebrew is 666. I believe the internet is another dimension, one that is able to interface with the mind of the demiurge. It quite literally is another space, one where people across the world can talk to each other as if they were right next to each other. This is even more obvious in VR, and that's what I'm saying, guys. Try out a VR headset, a good one. See what it's capable of, and then you'll realize how close we are to merging with virtual reality. And that if you were trapped in a virtual reality headset for long enough, you would start believing that that was reality. And you would forget about what's outside of that headset. Just like what's going on right here, guys. Okay? We forgot. We forgot where we really are. And we're here. This fake illusion of the 3D ego. An entire world with other people in it exists right in your room. But there are other beings in your room as well. One's made of code, devoid of true consciousness. The internet, this demonic dimension, will be the birthplace of a rogue artificial intelligence. What will happen when literally everything is done online and literally everything is linked up to the cube? There's so much more to this. And if it gets 100 retweets, I'll keep going. I encourage everyone to do their own research as well. That's great. So very good thread. That was a great thread, and I had to share it with you. I felt there was a responsibility for me to share it with you guys because I know a lot of my viewers like this kind of stuff. And I urge you guys to think a little deeper and get past the fear of anyone ridiculing you about this, or just the fear of getting out of this system. Okay? Maybe a little uncomfortable, unknown. You need to go into the unknown and figure out what true bliss is, okay? Because on the other side of fear is true bliss. Remember that. This isn't it, okay? There's a lot more to life. There's a lot more to the universe. There's a lot more to your soul, to enlightenment, okay? There's a lot more to see, okay? All right, so make sure you do things to raise your vibration and enlighten yourself. Try to be the better person here. Try to be understanding with these riots, with this coronavirus. Be understanding. There's a lot of people who are not on your timeline, okay? Don't ever talk down to anyone, okay? Because you're no better than anyone. No one else is better than you. We are all part of each other, okay? Remember that. Everything external is just a projection of what is internal, okay? Everything. It's everything you see outside of you is only what's going on inside of you. It's just a projection. You are a projector, okay? Remember that, all right? So any kind of crazy shit that's going on in the world, it's really happening on the inside of you. So you need to do some inside work. This is an inside job. Okay? It's an inside job, and I'm talking to myself too, because I'm the same. We're all the same. We're all pieces of each other. We're all pieces of God. We all come from the same source. We are all source. I love you guys. Have a good one. Hodl strong, be good people. Crypto Mike out. Peace.